After almost 5 years of Team World losing to Team Europe, Team World has finally won this year's Laver Cup. Surprisingly, we didn't think that would ever happen with the way Team Europe was stacked up this year with Roger, Rafa, Novak, Andy Murray, Tsitsipas, Berrettini. The list goes on and on about who was playing and how Team Europe would dominate this year's Laver Cup. And some may not think that Laver Cup was that important, but this year it was very special, and here's why. Roger Federer retired this year. Tiafoe became undefeated in every single tiebreaker he's played this year. That is a stat that hasn't been done in so long. In 10 plus matches, Frances Tiafoe has not lost a competitive tiebreak. Whether it was super tiebreak or regular tiebreak, he's improved his record to be something unbelievable, especially after losing the first set to Stefanos Tsitsipas today, the day we're recording this, 6-1 in the first set. For Roger Federer retired for his last competitive match, even though they had a couple match points. Roger Federer did lose his last competitive match playing with Rafael Nadal, playing doubles against Frances Tiafoe, and I believe it was Jack Sock. The only thing that we noticed was how he was able to go out in a fashion that, unlike Serena Williams, I will say for this video, he went out with the best of the best by his side and those that competed against him, to the point of we all saw the infamous photo, and I think this photo will go down in history, to be honest, in my opinion, in tennis, as one of the greatest photos ever of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal holding hands on the bench during his going away introduction speech, and how both of them were crying. I've never seen something so emotional in a sport like that, especially for someone else, go on. And the fact that Rafael Nadal later coming out that the news that Rafa left Laver Cup due to personal reasons to go be with his wife who was having his baby, his first child, and he came to play only one doubles match with Roger Federer. And we didn't know that at the beginning he was going to leave for personal reasons. But the fact that he did was something you can't understand how important that is for a rival like Roger Federer in any sport to go play with your rival that you played with for so many years, to play doubles, to then leave, to only come for one match. And it was funny to read how people thought that Roger Federer's retirement was also going to be in the end of Rafael's retirement, which, by the way, was not going to happen, because that's one out of the big 3/4 is now gone, and I can't imagine doing two at once. I think I would have really, really cried, like a lot of people did during Roger Federer's farewell ceremony, and how overwhelming of emotion this Laver Cup brought. And besides the Roger Federer retirement, because the more I talk about, the more sad I'm going to be, I'm actually in limbo. Not even in limbo. I don't even think I would use that word. It was interesting to hear people's thoughts on if Team Europe won this year without Rafa, without Roger essentially playing, and Novak losing twice. It really surprised me how, I don't even think Novak lost twice, but he did lose to Felix Auger-Aliassime after Felix won a 3-set doubles match today. What surprised me the most was if Team Europe won again, like they have for the past couple years. I don't think, and this is a very good point, I don't think the Laver Cup would have been seen in the same way. And the reason for that is, can you imagine if Team Europe always won the Laver Cup? And it's not something that we thought would happen, but it was a very good possibility seeing what has happened in the past. And it's crazy to think how you would bring two teams together to then have one team just beat up on the other. And no offense to Team World, because it was essentially North America versus North America and Australia versus everyone else. If you did consider that, if Team Europe consistently beat Team World, it would just become like a Harlem Globetrotters match. Think about that. And it's not even like Team World is letting the Harlem Globetrotters win. In this case, Harlem Globetrotters being Team Europe, They're actually trying to win. But it was getting to that point where it was becoming more and more unbalanced. And with the lineup that Team Europe showed for this past Laver Cup, it seemed like that. Especially for Roger's farewell. But at the same time, for his farewell, you would want all those guys to be together for a team. So, if Team World didn't win this year's Laver Cup, do you think we would have a reformatted type of tournament? Do we think we would have different people coming in? Do we think we would have a different format? Will we have more of a World Team Tennis thing where they would have women come in to compete? Would Team World start having more players maybe from outside? And maybe that's why Russia wasn't involved. And would Russia still be considered Team Europe? And we all know why Russian players weren't involved this year. But we'll stay away from that topic right now. But what would happen if Team Europe continued to win? And Team World just showed up and not even, like, they would compete, but if they kept losing, it would just become more of a laughingstock. And since Laver Cup is now being incorporated into ATP head-to-heads, why would you even try to compete at the Laver Cup if you knew you were always going to have more losses in your win column for the year if you competed? But I'm very happy that Team World did actually win. I think all of them played super well. Felix getting that win over Novak was a huge one for him. The fact that Frances Tiafoe came back from a set down against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Felix and Jack Sock playing unbelievably well. Tiafoe and Sock playing unbelievably well. Unfortunately, being Rogers last match. That's very unfortunate, but a great effort from them. But it really does make you think, what is next for the Laver Cup without Roger Federer? Because let's not forget, this was his brainchild. This was his idea going into this. So I'm very interested to see what else can happen from this. And I want to know your comments below about what you think of the Laver Cup. I want you guys to let me know if you think this is going to continue, if you think this is going to get a bigger audience, because their records for every social media post was off the charts. And in terms of tennis coverage, that's something that you want to see. But we have to put in mind, and it's not even an asterisk, but Roger Federer retiring really did make those numbers go up. But how can they continue to grow? How can this be a more viable event to access for players and for a bigger audience that doesn't seem that prestigious? It is a prestigious event, but I guess the word is elitist in that term, for more accessible to fans to watch and to not be in a very expensive venue, to not be so expensive going, because I know in Boston it was more than $300 per ticket, and that was just for nosebleeds. So I can't imagine how much they are in these other places as well. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you are new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we'd love to have you guys join us. And if you are watching this on TikTok, hit that plus sign for more tennis content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, guys.